The legend is back. Rey Mysterio just made his shocking return to WWE and saved John Cena from a vicious beatdown by his own son, Dominik Mysterio. Father versus son, legend versus legend, and a family torn apart in the most dramatic way possible. If you missed this moment, you missed one of the most emotional returns in WWE history. I'm breaking down everything right now. What's up, wrestling vs. family? Welcome back to the channel where we bring you the biggest moments, the most shocking returns, and the wildest storylines in professional wrestling. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because we deliver content like this every single day. Today we're talking about Rey Mysterio's emotional return and the family drama that's about to explode across WWE. This is huge, so let's jump right into it. The seeds of this moment were planted months ago when Dominik Mysterio turned his back on his father and aligned himself with the Judgment Day. That betrayal shook the WWE universe to its core. A son rejecting his legendary father, choosing a faction over family, and becoming everything Rey Mysterio never wanted him to be. Since then, Dominik has been on a warpath. He's been disrespecting his father's legacy at every opportunity. He's been mocking the mask, dismissing the accomplishments, and making it clear that he wants to step out of his father's shadow by destroying everything Rey built. But Rey Mysterio hasn't been seen in WWE for several weeks. Injury reports were circulating. Rumors of retirement were whispered. And many fans wondered if we'd ever see the legendary luchador back in a WWE ring again. The absence of Rey Mysterio left a void, and Dominik was more than happy to fill that void with his own brand of chaos. Then came the segment that nobody saw coming. John Cena, one of the greatest superstars in WWE history, was in the ring cutting a promo. The Cenation leader was talking about respect, legacy, and what it means to represent WWE with honor and dignity. And who came out to interrupt him? Dominik Mysterio and the Judgment Day. The disrespect was immediate and intentional. Dominik was getting in Cena's face, talking trash about legends who don't know when to step aside, mocking the old guard for holding on to glory instead of letting the new generation take over. Cena, being Cena, fired right back. He wasn't intimidated by Dominik or his backup. He stood his ground and made it clear that punks who disrespect their families and their legacies don't deserve any respect themselves. The verbal confrontation was intense, and you could feel the tension building with every word. Then Dominik made the biggest mistake of his life. He put his hands on John Cena. One shove led to another. Words turned into action. And before anyone could react, the Judgment Day surrounded Cena in the ring. The numbers game was overwhelmingly in their favor, and Cena was in serious trouble. What followed was a brutal, vicious assault. Dominik and the Judgment Day weren't just attacking Cena, they were trying to make an example out of him. This was about sending a message to every legend, every veteran, and everyone who represented the old guard. They were beating Cena down with ruthless efficiency, and the WWE universe watched in horror. Cena tried to fight back, and for a moment it looked like he might overcome the numbers. But there were too many of them. Every time he got to his feet, another member of the Judgment Day would strike. Every time he showed signs of life, Dominik would deliver another calculated attack. This wasn't a fight, it was a targeted destruction. The crowd was booing at the top of their lungs. Referees and officials were trying to break it up, but the Judgment Day wasn't stopping. Security was getting pushed aside. The assault continued, getting more vicious with each passing second, and Dominik Mysterio was leading the charge, proving that his betrayal of family values went deeper than anyone imagined. Just when it looked like this beatdown would end with Cena seriously injured and the Judgment Day standing tall, the arena went dark. The crowd immediately erupted because they knew what was about to happen. And when that iconic music hit, the roof nearly came off the building. Booyaka! Rey Mysterio was back. The master of the 619, the ultimate underdog, the living legend was sprinting down that ramp faster than we'd seen him move in years. The look on his face was pure fury and determination. This wasn't just about saving John Cena, this was about confronting his son and stopping the madness. Rey slid into the ring like a man possessed, and the Judgment Day didn't know what hit them. He was throwing strikes, hitting Hurricane Ranas, and clearing the ring with the kind of intensity that reminded everyone why he's one of the greatest high flyers of all time. The explosion of offense was breathtaking, and the crowd was going absolutely insane. The Judgment Day members started scattering, rolling out of the ring to regroup. But Rey wasn't focused on them. His eyes were locked on Dominik. Father and son stood face to face for the first time in months, and the emotion was overwhelming. The crowd was chanting Rey's name. Cena was recovering in the corner. And the entire wrestling world was watching this family confrontation unfold. Dominik's expression went from shock to anger to defiance. He wasn't backing down from his father. He wasn't showing remorse. Instead, he was talking trash, pointing fingers, and making it clear that his betrayal wasn't something he regretted. The disrespect was still there, even in the face of his father's return. Rey was visibly torn. You could see it on his face. The pain of confronting his own son, the anger at what Dominik had become, and the sadness of a father who didn't recognize his child anymore. But Rey didn't come back to WWE to have a heartfelt conversation. He came back to put an end to Dominik's reign of terror. The Judgment Day tried to pull Dominik out of the ring, preventing the confrontation from escalating further. They retreated up the ramp, but not before Dominik made threatening gestures and shouted that this wasn't over. Rey stood in the ring with John Cena, both legends looking up at the young faction that represented everything they stood against. Cena and Rey shared a moment of mutual respect. Two legends who have carried WWE on their backs for decades, now standing together against a new generation that wants to tear down everything they built. Cena extended his hand, and Rey shook it. The crowd was on their feet, appreciating the show of solidarity between two of the greatest to ever do it. But this moment of celebration was bittersweet for Rey. Yes, he saved John Cena. Yes, he made a triumphant return. But he also came face to face with the reality that his relationship with his son might be beyond repair. The pain in his eyes told the whole story. This isn't the ending he wanted, but it's the reality he has to face. Let's talk about what Rey Mysterio's return means for WWE and for the fans who have been waiting to see him back in action. Rey is a living legend, a Hall of Famer, and someone who has inspired generations of wrestlers around the world. His absence was felt deeply, and his return immediately elevates every storyline he touches. At this stage of his career, Rey doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. He's accomplished everything there is to accomplish in professional wrestling. But the one thing he hasn't resolved is his relationship with Dominik, and that's a story that needs to be told in the ring. Rey's return also brings a level of legitimacy and star power to any program. When Rey Mysterio is involved, people pay attention. His matches are still must-see television. His presence still draws ratings, and his ability to connect with audiences of all ages makes him invaluable to WWE. The question now is what kind of schedule Rey will work. Is this a full-time return, or will he be making special appearances? Given his age and the toll his body has taken over the years, a part-time schedule makes sense. But when Rey does appear, you can bet it's going to be meaningful and impactful. Now let's discuss John Cena and how this incident affects his current run in WWE. Cena has been making sporadic appearances, and each one reminds us why he's one of the biggest stars in company history. Getting attacked by the Judgment Day and being saved by Rey creates an interesting dynamic. Cena now has history with Dominik and the Judgment Day. He owes Rey a debt of gratitude for the save. And he's going to want revenge for the beatdown he suffered. This could lead to Cena and Rey teaming up, which would be absolute money. Two legends joining forces against the disrespectful younger generation. Sign me up for that storyline immediately. The potential tag team matches, the promos, and the storytelling possibilities are endless. Imagine Cena and Rey cutting promos about legacy, respect, and what it means to represent WWE. Then imagine Dominik and the Judgment Day responding with their perspective about the old guard needing to move aside. That's compelling television that writes itself. But the heart of this story is the father-son dynamic between Rey and Dominik. This is Shakespearean-level family drama playing out in a wrestling ring, and it's absolutely captivating. Dominik's heel turn has been one of the most effective character transformations in recent memory, and having his actual father as his primary rival makes it even more powerful. The matches between Rey and Dominik have been emotional and hard-hitting. Every move carries extra weight because of their relationship. Every near fall feels more significant. Every confrontation is charged with real emotion that you can't fake. This is the kind of storytelling that separates good wrestling from great wrestling. With Rey back in the picture, the feud can escalate to new levels. We could see high-stakes matches with major stipulations. We could see other family members get involved. We could see moments of potential reconciliation followed by more heartbreak. The possibilities are endless, and all of them are compelling. What about the Judgment Day and how they factor into all of this? The faction has been one of the most dominant forces in WWE, and adding this rivalry with Rey and Cena only strengthens their position. They're the heels that everyone loves to hate, and their attacks on legends make them even more despicable. The numbers advantage that the Judgment Day possesses means that Rey and Cena will need allies. Could we see other legends return to even the odds? Could younger superstars who respect the legends step up to help? The faction warfare aspect of this storyline opens up so many possibilities for matches and moments. And let's not forget that within the Judgment Day, Dominik has his own position and his own motivations. His hatred for his father drives him, but it also might make him reckless. His desire to prove he's better than Rey could lead to mistakes. And his arrogance might ultimately be his downfall. The road ahead is full of potential classic moments. Rey Mysterio vs. Dominik Mysterio in a major stipulation match at a premium live event. John Cena and Rey Mysterio teaming up against the Judgment Day. 6-man tags, 8-man tags, and all-out warfare between the legends and the faction. Every single possibility sounds incredible. This is what WWE does best, taking real emotions and family dynamics and turning them into compelling wrestling storylines. The fact that Rey and Dominik are actually father and son makes every moment feel more authentic. The crowd is invested because the stakes feel real, and the emotional payoff, whatever it ends up being, will be that much more satisfying. Rey Mysterio's return to save John Cena from Dominik's attack was more than just a feel-good moment. It was the beginning of the next chapter in one of WWE's most personal and compelling storylines. The legend is back, the family is still fractured, and the battles ahead are going to be absolutely epic. Whether you're a fan of Rey's legendary career, intrigued by Dominik's heel evolution, excited to see Cena mixing it up with younger talent, or just love great storytelling, this is the kind of content that reminds us why we love professional wrestling. It's emotional, it's dramatic, and it's absolutely unmissable. Alright, wrestling vs. family, now it's your turn. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you excited about Rey Mysterio's return? Do you think Rey and Cena should team up? And how do you see this family drama between Rey and Dominik ending? I want to hear all your thoughts and predictions. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Rey's heroic return and this incredible storyline, show some love by hitting that like button. Every like helps us grow and bring you more amazing wrestling content every single day. If you haven't subscribed to Wrestling vs. CC yet, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss a moment of our coverage. We've got Raw, SmackDown, premium live events, returns, debuts, and everything happening in WWE and beyond. Share this video everywhere. Post it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, and send it to every wrestling fan you know. Everyone needs to see this analysis of one of the most emotional returns in recent memory. Before you leave, check out the other incredible videos on our channel. We've got tons of content covering all the latest wrestling news, match breakdowns, and storyline analysis that you're going to love. I'm Wrestling vs. CC, and thank you so much for being part of this amazing community. Keep celebrating the legends, keep supporting great wrestling, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay locked into all things WWE. Peace out.